Morning everyone, how are you doing? It's Amanda. Can you hear the wind rustling in the trees? It's about 8 a.m. in the morning here on Sunday, the 2nd of August, and I'm just travelling back home. Should be back home by the time this probably uploads later today. And I've had a few days away in Yorkshire, and it's been nice, but I'm looking forward to getting back home as well. It's a very strange new world that we find ourselves in, isn't it? And it's only when you actually go away that you realise how much things have changed, because when you're in your own little bubble of home, then a sense of normality can sort of be kept to a degree, especially if you work from home like I do. But yes, going away and having stayed in 3 different hotels over the last week, because we've broken our journey up, going up and coming back down the country, and experiencing different things in each one, different energies, it really makes you realise that how much things have changed in our world. And I feel that this video is a call to action, in terms of a call to be strong, a call to be strong in these times that we're in. As I just exited the hotel we're in now, just to make this little video, the song that was playing in the hotel reception was "The Only Way Is Up" by Jazz. It's a song from the 80s again, but its words are pretty fitting. And it's something that I wanted to talk about in this video, which is that I feel as though we do need to talk ourselves up and regain our strength, rather than focusing on what has gone, what has been lost, which may return in a different form, may not. You know, this is almost like a reset moment for our world. But equally, as the winds of change gather, let's just let them do that. But also the importance of being strong in terms of not all the time focusing on the negative narrative and the worst case scenario that is out there. As a YouTuber, I'm very aware of other narratives put out by other channels and other potential timelines that are possible. But Metatron is reminding us that no timeline is set. And have I said that before in another video? I think I might have done. I'm getting a deja vu moment here. Maybe it's just a timeline loop that I'm on, coming back to say the same thing again, that no timeline is set. So when you watch video after video, as some people are, because you can see by the viewing figures, quite frankly, of potential total control of the species, microchipping, the word beginning with V that ends in N and has compulsory in front of it. I won't say the word because then the video will get shadow banned probably on YouTube. But I think we all know what we're talking about, the hot topics that are out there at the moment. And there is an energy at the moment which is almost talking us into that reality. Because the truth is, whatever we focus on, we become. I didn't know what to title this video, but I would quite like to have called it Back to Basics. I don't know whether I did when it went up, because I really think we have to get back to basics and to remember that what we focus on, we become and we create. And it's as though we've forgotten that very important premise. So although it's important to be aware of eventualities that could play out, that doesn't mean that they will. And if the light worker community puts all of its attention onto worst case scenarios, then you are actually putting your focus into creating that worst case scenario under the guise of raising awareness. So it's a thin line that needs to be walked to raise awareness of what potentially can happen, but not to walk yourself into a trap. And some people are walking themselves into traps by the constant, incessant focus on worst case scenario. So the call this morning is really for us to go back to basics and to remember our own power, and to remember that we create the timeline that we want for this world. And it strikes me that as we have this, almost feels like a crisis of morality actually in our midst, where humanity could go one of two ways. The energy and attention that's being put into a lower vibrational reality that could come in by very powerful spiritual people and light workers, I think is actually the thing that's the most disturbing. Because if we can't raise our game, and if we can't hold a vision for what we wish New Earth to be, whoever is in the playground, because Earth is a big playground, and Earth has within it, presently, because we still have duality on this planet, it has what we call the baddies and the goodies. And as I've said before in other videos, we have been both. We have played both roles. In a newsletter that is going out tomorrow, that I send out, and if you want to subscribe to it, you basically can sign up on my website for it. But it's just a monthly newsletter that I've started. And one of the things that Metatron said, as sort of a little joke, but not really, was he said, even Eden had weeds. And how ironic that I'm actually standing here in this sort of, I'm on a pathway in the middle of a wood, as you can see. And I'm actually standing here because it's quiet and there's no people around. And I just wanted some privacy to say what I wanted to say. But it's beautifully illustrating my point, because it's a very unkempt part of the premises where I'm staying. But yet I'm feeling great beauty here. You know, the trees and the vegetation. If I just sort of show you behind me, don't know whether you can see it, but there's that area there, sort of like these sparse trees that haven't yet quite come into bloom. And I'm surrounded by weeds. But it's beautiful. So yeah, even Eden had weeds. Okay. What do you focus on? Do you focus on the beautiful bits of the falling leaf and the wind and the fresh air and the fertile soil underneath my feet? Or do you concentrate on this poor plant here behind me, which actually doesn't look, anybody that's horticultural, I don't know what that plant is. Can you see it? Looks a bit sad, doesn't it? Looks a bit sad, but yet it needs our love and it's our attention and our care just as much as the most beautiful bloom. So please, 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 light workers, be very, very cautious of where you are putting your energy and your attention at the moment. The sad truth is, I know that if I did a video on various hot subjects at the moment and various people in the news, I could increase this channel's presence and subscriber count significantly. But I refuse to do it. I refuse to play that game. To play into a paradigm that is basically supporting worst case scenario. I won't do it. So we're always going to try and keep the vibe here on this channel as positive and as high as we can, whilst being aware of all eventualities that could happen, but trying our best to do what we came to do some work, and basically to tip the scales in the favour of a more harmonious outcome for everybody. You know, if we're in reset times, then reset times means nothing has been decided for the future, nothing. And you are the master creator. And if you're watching me and you found this channel, you are a particularly powerful manifester because you're awake. You're awake to your own power, your own divinity, your own ability to bring anything in. Now, this is interesting because one thing I had a dream a few days ago about somebody who's quite high profile, and who's one of the Doom and Gloom brigade, whips people up into a frenzy of fear, and basically a fear that there is no control, that you have no control, that we are walking off a cliff edge into a new reality where you are going to be controlled and, you know, microchipped and blah, blah, blah. And in this dream, I saw something ahead for this person, which is just be very I just want to say, just be very careful what you keep saying, because what we say, how we act, what we do, particularly if we have influence, is what we manifest. It's what we manifest in both our personal lives, our business lives, but particularly those of us that have got a platform and have some influence and other people are listening to us. So if you're leading people down a dark pathway where there is no hope, there is just fear and anxiety and, oh my God, this is then going to happen, and then that, there are some karmic consequences. That's really what I'm trying to say. There are some karmic consequences for that. Those are Canadian geese that keep flying overhead, by the way. You can't see them because I'm in the wood. They're there. Chickens, I know they're not. They're what I've just said they are. But they are. I'm also hearing chickens coming home. What's that phrase? Chickens coming home to roost. Is it chickens coming home to roost? Hens coming home to roost. You reap what you sow. We reap what we sow in these times. Be so careful what you're putting out. I think people do it inadvertently without even realise they're doing it. So I had another dream last night about somebody I haven't seen since I was a child. He was my childhood sweetheart, Harvey. That's such a middle-class name. I shouldn't say that because that's judging. I think it's a lovely name, actually. But yeah, Harvey and Amanda, they sound very middle-class, don't they? They just do. Anyway, Harvey was my little childhood sweetheart, and I don't know where this guy is any longer. Have no contact, haven't for decades, and I'm sure I never will have any contact. But he came into my dream last night, and it was just so sweet. And it brought home to me this, you see how I'm smiling? And I'm smiling because it's when we're surrounded by like-minded souls who buoy us up and who we enjoy their presence. That's what we need to get to. I've actually written a few notes that I'm looking down at because I'm holding this camera, and I've put, joy is the game changer. Joy is the game changer. And so that's what we need to remember. The thing is, fear can also be a game changer as well. I think we have to balance it out. Fear can be a game changer, and so can joy. So which one are you going to choose? Which one are you going to align to? Which one are you going to listen to? Which one are you going to absorb into your body and become? It is that simple. And because it's simple, people ignore it. We all do. I do as well from time to time. But this is a timely reminder of how important it is. to align to joy and that vibration, rather than just keep feeding the darkness. The darkness want you to be scared. They want you to be in fear. They want you to keep talking about it. They want you to keep talking about worst case scenarios, and this could happen and that could happen, and this person's dark and that person's evil, and they've done this and they've done that. You, all the time you're doing that, you're in that energy. You are in that energy. You are becoming it as well. So try not to do that. As I say, it's a very fine line, and it's very easy to attack me and say, oh, you're just saying don't be aware of what's going on out there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be aware of it and then step into the higher vibration to change it. You're not going to change it by staying in it. I think social media has a lot to answer for, and I'm very aware I'm recording this on social media, but I'm trying to be high vibe. But, you know, I have pretty much unfollowed anybody that's just regurgitating all this stuff the whole time about, oh my God, this is happening and that's happening. And I'm not aligning with it. I'm not aligning with it. I don't want to be surrounded by it. I don't want to hear about it. I know about it anyway. I don't need to keep rehearing it. That's the point of the message. Because, as Metatron says, no timeline is set. You are what you focus on. You are the creator. So I'm reading my own notes. And you also are the alchemist. Okay? You are the alchemist. Never, ever forget that. So if you're the alchemist, what Metatron's showing me, and the master magician, which you are, imagine you have a whole load of ingredients in front of you to create something beautiful. Do you take all the really turgid, stale, stagnant, old energies which belong to old earth and keep stirring that pot really well to create the biggest, souffle you've ever seen in your life? You give it air. Or do you instead choose the best ingredients that you can, and they will include non-judgment, love, non-judgment, tolerance, compassion, forgiveness, joy, support, friendship, and see what you can create with that and promote that. And I tell you what, on social media, you won't get as many hits, you won't get as many likes, you won't even have as many people in your camp. But if you are a light worker, that's what you're meant to be doing. And as I say, it's a simple message, and it's one that's really easily ignored. And this is a bit like tough love coming here from Metatron, because he's saying a lot of people are nodding in agreement to this. And then in an hour or so, they'll go onto their social media pages and they'll just share links to all the stuff that you've been saying that lowers the energy. You don't even realise you're doing it. We have to become aware that we're doing it. When you're aware, then you change it. As I've said so much in a lot of videos I've done recently, the people are in place to bring to account and justice those that need to be brought to account and justice in our world. Their roles were already allotted before birth. They signed up for it. It will happen in divine timing, in the right way. It already is happening. What doesn't need to happen around it, sorry, I've not even had a cup of coffee this morning, it's pre-breakfast. What doesn't need to happen around it is a party. Okay? Have the party around the good energies. Okay? Celebrate love, celebrate hope. Celebrate hope. We need it at the moment. We really need it. For the first time since this whole pandemic started, having gone away and having seen my dad first time for a year, and the experience that we've had in various places we've stopped, I've really realised, come on, you're going to have to dig deep, girl. We're all going to have to dig deep. This is not something that's going to be over next month. It's something, we're in a reset. We're in a reset, and we're going to have to be strong. And the thing that gives you strength is the energies of light and hope and love, not the energies of fear and dread and anxiety and, oh my God, this is going to happen, new world order, all of that stuff. You can create that. You can create that, and you will be contributing to creating that the more that you read about it, share it, promote it. And I know there are people that will completely and utterly disagree with me, but I've been given a platform, and I'm going to say what I'm being told to share and what's coming from my own higher self as well. So yes, we're going to have to be strong. I think some countries have already gone back into lockdown. Australia, parts of Australia. And the UK is looking like this might happen. Certainly some areas of the UK are already going back into lockdown. Nobody is looking forward to that. Nobody is relishing that. Nobody is relishing walking around in a mask either, by the way. Whether you're pro wearing a mask and totally, comfortable with it, or whether you're somebody that's really not wanting to wear one. Nobody actually enjoys wearing them. Of course they don't. But it's where we are. One of my teachers over the years, Melissa Jolly, who created the colour mirrors system, one of the main ethoses of colour mirrors is you can't fight it right, you can only love it right. And I think that's quite an important thing to remember now. You can't fight it right, you can only love it right. Love is a higher vibration. Love is a bigger game changer than anything else on this planet. So the more that you fight against the energies at present, the more that they're going to pull you down. I'm being shown quicksand. Again, that doesn't mean don't take a stand, don't voice an opinion. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's about the balance of where you're putting your energies and your actions. And if you're consumed by just trying to get the right words. Okay, I'm propaganda is the word I'm hearing. If you're consumed by propaganda, which can be on either side of the fence, by the way, you're not actually listening to your own higher self. We need to be listening to our own higher selves. Our own higher selves are what is going to get us through these next few months. And it might be longer than months. And I think we need to just step into our spiritual maturity and remember we came here to do this at this time. And if the masters were walking amongst us, which they are because they are within us, Christ, for example, Christ wouldn't be sitting down and spending all of his time listening to all of the fear. That doesn't mean he wouldn't be acknowledging it's there. He would be trying to transform it and change it by being it. That's how you change and transform it, by being it. You can't be it unless you are surrounding yourself with it. So again, surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who are loving, who are full of light. And anybody at the moment that's promoting separation, including, this might be controversial, but including the dark versus light energy, which is separation, that's not helping either. We've got to start to move into a place where we see everything as part of oneness, unity, everything as an expression of ourselves. Anything that's promoting separation at this moment is setting us back. Anything that's putting us into a camp, be it political or anything else, is actually harming our pathway, the steps that we need to take to the summit. Because the pathway, we've got to walk it together. You've got to walk this pathway towards New Earth with your brother and your sister, and equally with your enemy. That's the teaching of Christ. Christ doesn't say, leave your enemy at the bottom of the path and forget them. He says, take them with you. Take your brother's hand. Lead. Show the way. Be the way shower. So those that are promoting this whole agenda and only fixating on, you know, we're the goodies in this camp and they're these miserable, you know, whatevers. Well, just recognise that you're also that person as well. That's part of you as well. That's why you walk together, because you're one. You've got to walk the path together. Metatron saying, even if you don't like the person's hand that you're holding. Okay, he's also saying to me, in all seriousness, because I know this is a point that probably is going to get misunderstood. He's showing me, you know, in schools where they go on like a day trip or something and the children have to hold each other's hands and they all follow like in a snake, don't they? The teacher. And so each child has to hold another child's hand to keep them safe. Well, what Metatron's saying to me is that the analogy here is that there's always an older child with a younger child. So if you're being asked to hold an enemy's hand, for example, this is symbolic, by the way, of course. You're not actually going to physically be asked to hold Ghislaine Maxwell's hand, as an example, although some might. You're going to be an older soul by nature. That job isn't given necessarily to the youngest souls who've maybe only just woken up or who are still asleep. That's the phrase, we all walk each other home. But Metatron's showing me this line, it's like a crocodile line, and it's as though people are paired up by spirit so that we help each other. The right person is there to help the other person who's struggling or still in fear. Make sense? Makes sense to me. I'm going to walk us up this path now. Feels sort of the good thing to do, hey? And I'm going to go to breakfast. Let me just see if I missed anything in my pad. It's very odd trying to work from home. I've got my David Bowie pad with me. Got David on my walk. Hi, David. Hi, he says. Yeah, I think I've covered the points I had in my book. Look at the book, actually. Isn't that funny? Because, okay, he's not wearing a mask, but, you know, it's all about the eyes, guys. It's all about the eyes. I'm actually quite enjoying looking at people's eyes, properly looking at people's eyes. Actually, the way this book is, the way that I put this, it's like there's a big third eye there as well. 2020 vision. I mean, God, yeah, why has nobody picked up on this? Maybe they have. Maybe lots of people have been talking about this, but I haven't noticed it. 2020 vision, which I have talked about before. I'm walking up the path. Yes, it's about seeing clearly into the future, blah, 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 all the things we've been saying. But oh my God, we're all wearing masks. The only thing you can see is people's eyes. 2020 vision. Well, yep, okay. Right, let's just walk up to breakfast. I've so got to get back on the diet from Monday. Going away is not good. Had a lovely meal last night. Went out for fish and chips into beautiful old English pub. We're in a lovely part. We're actually in Northamptonshire at the moment, en route back home. And this pub must have been 16th century. It had those really thick beams. The house had seen a lot. I'd seen a lot. I'm in a very strange hotel here though, because it's actually a golf hotel. I don't play golf, neither does my husband. But anyway, it was a convenient place to stop. And it's very scenic and beautiful, but I got woken up this morning by golfers. I didn't realise they went off so early, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then they were cutting the grass. So yeah, there's weeds in paradise. Okay, it's getting windy. I'm going to say goodbye. Be back next week. Oh, I said I was going to do a live tomorrow, Monday, because it's Aquarius full moon or new moon. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do it on Monday. I will do one next week. I might do it for Lionsgate, which is Saturday the 8th. I've got to sort my mum out tomorrow, and had a brainwave yesterday. I thought I'll get all the shopping done online tonight, get it delivered on Monday, and of course all the slots are booked up for weeks because of lockdown. We're in this new world. So anyway, you have to flow with it. I'm going to flow with it. I will do a live next week though. I'm very much looking forward to having a chat with you all and seeing how you all are. And now breakfast is calling. Shall I have the full English? Do you know what the full English is? You can have a vegetarian option as well. Hash brown, baked beans, fried egg, toast, mushrooms, tomato, vegetarian sausages. They're usually Linda McCartney. I said I was going to channel Linda McCartney, didn't I? Must do that soon. Much love, everyone. I'm going to go and get my breakfast. Bye-bye for now. Love you all. Bye.